What's going on, guys? So I'm gonna run you through pretty much, it's gonna be a little bit long video, but I'm gonna run you through putting the races in and the bearings and the rear seal on your hub for a Dana 70. Basically what to do and what not to do. And then after this, we're going to install the drums and the studs to the hubs, and then the third part, we're going to go ahead and install the brakes, all the springs and stuff like that, and try to get the hubs and everything on tonight as well. And that'll probably be another part because it's going to take a while to do all this stuff. So I'm going to get y'all set up over here and watch me, and that's going to be about it. That's about the gist of the thing. So as you see, we've got our high temp disc brake wheel bearing grease. Even though this is a oil bath bearing, just for shits and giggles, I like to pack them anyhow. And show you how to do all that. I've already got one hub ready, basically to slide onto the drum. I'll probably go ahead and do that first real quick. It'll only take a second to pop the wheel studs in, and I've got to do that hub. I'll get y'all to watch me on that one. So alright, let me get y'all set up here. I'm going to try to use a phone clip to hold y'all onto something. So I need to get a magnet or either a GoPro for magnet mount. That would help out a lot with doing this. Let's see. Alright, let's see if y'all should be able to see me right there. Alright, so clamp this back down. And let's see. Oh Jesus, they're a little heavy. As you can see, brand new and shiny. That's the only way to do it with new brakes, especially since this one had a boo-boo. Lined up. Yep, just like that. You're going to take your studs, drop them in. I'm going to have to sit this thing down on the back of the truck here to get them all pressed in, hammered in. So I figured while that's up there, I'll just go ahead and set it up there. Be a little bit easier. Because I am a clean freak, I'll probably lay down some towels real quick, just so that hub is not contacting any sort of dirt on the floor of this truck. Let's see. Get some of these tools out of the way. Put this drum down here. Alright, let me go to the front of the truck and get some clean rags out of my bucket. Lay these down. Only need a couple, just keep all the dirt away from that hub. Do not want any sort of dirt in that bearing that would be a very bad day. And that'll give it kind of a little bit of cushioning too when you go putting these on, because you do not want your surface for your axle gasket to be messed up. Oh God, that's a little heavy. That's every bit of 85 pounds. Alright, so that's gonna work out nice, I think. It'll sit there. And it's probably not. Alright. I'm gonna kinda have y'all just sit there. Just hang tight. So I got an air hammer for it. It's one of the best tools. If you're going to start out as a mechanic, buy an air hammer. I'm telling you. Down. I need some earbuds for this. This is loud. Let's see, what's the pressure on? 150. There we go. Almost like the guys back in the old days building the skyscrapers, they used to take those rivet hammers. So build all the skyscrapers, but as you can see, air hammers, those studs are no match for the air hammer. So those are all done. Got the bearing and steel already in there. And you want to make sure all your bearing erases all the way down to the machine groove. So this one's ready to be slipped on. Now I'm going to set you up again. Get you over here. You'll sit. Alright. Yep, you should be good. So I've already pre-packed this bearing, just cause I had gloves on, did it all at once. But what you want to do is get gloves, because it's going to be a pain in the butt to get grease off. Get you a scoop of grease, and let's use a race as an example. You want to take that bearing and push into your hand, push that grease up into the rollers. Just keep doing that until you see grease come into the rollers, and then you know you're good. It's going to take several revolutions of that bearing to get it packed in there. Just keep on working it in. Once you've done that, you're good. But anything trailer axle, you know, tag axle, drive axle, well, not drive axle, excuse me, steer axle, two-wheel drive axle, you're going to have to do this because it's not an old bath unless you have old bath bearings on like a big truck. Most of your two-wheel drive stuff on light duty vehicles is not going to have it. So we want to make sure. Oh goodness, I'm dropping everything. Tell you one thing, guys, this is going to be nice when I have my shop done. I'm tired of working out here in the weather in a nasty environment. Nothing's clean. I don't have a table. So I've got to get that stuff done. I'm trying to get this truck done right now. So that's where I have something to drive, because everything right now is a project, and which is good for y'all because there's going to be a lot of videos. So I'm going to wipe this off real quick. Just make sure there ain't no dirt or anything. sure it's nice and clean. Pull it away. Don't see nothing. I'm gonna lay this right here. It's a clean surface. So as you can see, already got the front outer race installed, and it's basically the same thing as the inner race. So you can just repeat the process. Take our hub, lay it up here on the vise. Give it just a light clamp. We'll make sure all of our surfaces in here are clean. They look good. So now we're going to take a race that's clean and we're going to lay it in here. Let me show you something real quick before we get started with that. Show you what I was talking about these preset ledges in here. So if you look, this ledge right here is where you want to go all the way to with your race. This ledge right here is going to be for your seal. So you want to go all the way there to there with your seal. And make sure both of them bottom out. So you don't, your preset on your seal and your bearing will be bad, and it won't work out. So if you don't have this race set all the way in here, when you go to tighten the nut down and set your preload, it's not going to work out for you. It's going to be a bad day. And of course, as soon as I start a video, I try to get something done, it's already starting to rain again. Gotta love it. East Coast has gotten pounded by some rain in the past couple weeks. We personally here have gotten 8 inches in the past week. It's ridiculous. Normally they get snow, which, I mean, can't complain. Could be worse. We could have 18 inches of snow right now. Alright, so what I like to do before I get welling on it with the air hammer, kind of just start it in, a couple light taps. Just to get it started. And then what I'll do is take the air hammer, be very, very gentle. Come in here with the air hammer, just tap one side. And then what I'll do is just keep rolling the air hammer around and keep on working it in until we're completely in. So now we're down to that ledge where the seal is at, and it's not letting me get any further. So I'll take an old race. Put the beveled, the smaller beveled end on it, and put the fat end on the top. I think our mount's not working out too good. But you want to check the look up from the bottom and see if you are mounted all the way down. If you're flush all the way down, you know you're good. Alright, we are good on the race. You're probably wondering how in the heck are we going to get the other race out since it's already pressed in. Well, I'll go back to my extra long chisel here. I'll lay that down. Come back in, loosen our vise, flip it over. Make sure we get a good grip on it. I'm going to take our extra long chisel and push out that old race that we used for a hammering. I have to crank the compressor back up. It's about time to get a new compressor. This one right here is about had it. As you can tell, it's not sounding too good. Just like that, we got a race out. Just like that, we have a nicely installed race. And as you can see, it is butted up against that lip perfectly. We'll take our wipe it down again, make sure you got no particles or anything in there. Like I said, that'd be a very bad day. You have a bearing go bad, eat your spindle up. Alright, we're good there. Let me get a glove and put that bearing in there that's packed. So when I'm dealing with grease like this, especially on my hands, definitely use gloves. It's about the only time I use gloves. unfortunately. I just can't work with gloves. Can't feel anything. It's nothing any good. So should have got 2 gloves, but oh well. Get some of this excess grease off of here. The glove. Drop. As you can see how that one's completely packed on both sides. It's good. Drop that in. Let me get my hands cleaned up and get this glove off. I'll be back. Alright, we got our bearing in. So now we want to take, that's from the old one. We're going to take our new SKF seal from Napa. It's a 333. And the bearing for the inside, I had trouble finding it. At Napa, it's a SET 416, and these bearings are about $59 for the race and bearing. But if you want quality bearings, there you go. I don't want to go back into this truck for another decade at least, so that's why I buy quality stuff. 333 on the seal, and I'll get you a part number on the outer one. So what I want to do is take some of this lubricate grease. It's a 105 white grease. It's just a motor assembly grease. I used it on the engine that's in the truck now. Put the cam in and stuff. This is some good stuff. So what you want to do, take and put you a little bit right here on your lip to lube up your lip so it's easier to slip on to the spindle. Get it real good all the way around. And then what I like to do too to make these go in easier, just put a little bit on the outside on the contact surface where the hub's going to hit. And these things are so tight in there, you ain't got to worry about them slipping out or anything. This is just going to help to install a little bit better. And this grease will be gone. I mean, it'll be gone first year. So you ain't got to worry about it. But I just like to smear it on everything, keep rust from happening, stuff like that, especially if you're up above the rust belt. We're pretty close. We're in VAs, so we do have a couple rust issues. Humidity is high here, especially in the summertime. But as you can see, we got all of our lip seal lubricated. Seal's ready to go in. You want to make sure, you see how this is the back side of the seal and this is the front side with your part number. Make sure the front side goes to the inside of your hub. So this would go, if you're getting ready to put this on the truck, this part number would face the backing plate for your brakes. Go back to our hammer here and get a little light tapping. You don't want to well on these seals because you'll bend them and you'll have a bad leak. Alright, now that we got that tapped in there and started, we're going to use our installation tool again, a old race, and I am needing another rag. This race is dirty. You don't want none of these dirt particles falling in that hub. You'll have a very bad day. I'll keep on expressing it. Cannot have dirt in bearings at all. Alright, so that's cleaned up. Wipe my hands off here. Make sure there's nothing on them. Take our driver. That's why I really need a seal driver. Make sure this thing goes down evenly. You don't want to bind this up. Very bad. Alright, just like the last one, the little spring came out that retains the seal. So we're done for driver now. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So as you see, this little spring came out. I'm going to show you how you fix that. Alright, try not to blind you with that. So take our universal pry bar screwdriver, take your right angle pick and grab that and just push it back up in there. Very tedious thing here. Make sure not to poke that pick into the seal. You hear that click? That's that spring going back up in there. And just run your pick back around to make sure it's in there, just like that. Seal's done. Wipe these off real quick. The assembly lube's kind of like anti-seize. It gets everywhere. Alright, there's your bearing, race, and inner seal. And we're going to do the same thing with the drum. Let me get this other hub moved. I'm going to go ahead and take this hub over to the truck. I'll be back. Alright, so I'm back. That was pretty heavy. This thing's about 80, probably about 80 some pounds at least. So, alright, what we're going to do now, put you back down here. And I'm going to spread these back out again. Shake them off. Alright. I'm going to take our hub. Place our hub. We're going to take a nice new shiny drum. And I'll tell you a story on that as we're working here. So the reason why I'm loyal to Napa is with the red dually I had. I was young, I didn't know enough about parts or anything, just getting started in the diesel technician field. I was buying stuff from O'Reilly's, and a lot of y'all probably can attest to this. O'Reilly's has some garbage parts. They're alright for stuff like paint and stuff, go and pick up, you know, spray cans and stuff like that. But for replacement parts, you can count me out. I bought a drum just like this. I did the exact same repair on that red dually, and the drum I bought was brand new. It had 4 weights, and when I say weights, they're normally right here or around the edges of the drum, and this one doesn't have none on it because they probably just shaved a piece of metal off to get it balanced. It had 4 weights on it, so I was like, why is this one different than the other one? I went in here with an inside bore gauge and checked it. It was 4 thousandths off round on that drum. I don't know who they had milling those things, casting them or whatnot, but after that, and then I got a booster, brand new booster from them, and as soon as I got it, put it on, the check valve was leaking, which is the little plastic fitting on the booster you hook all your vacuum hoses up to. So after that, long story short, I stay at Napa as much as I can for replacement parts. If it's Cummins stuff, I go to Cummins, or I go on eBay. There's a good guy on there, DB Sales. He has a bunch of replacement parts for Cummins OEM stuff. He's a wholesaler, and that's where I got the engine gasket set for the copper motor I've got. But let me pound these in right here, and other than that, that's going to be it for this video. Check out the next video. We're going to be sliding these on and doing our brakes. Actually, we'll be doing our brakes first, getting all the springs and everything. I'll show you how all those are supposed to be routed or cabled, all that good stuff. And then in the video after that, we'll be sliding these drums on and setting our preload on the bearings and all that good stuff. So y'all stay tuned. I'll catch you on the next one. Like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That helps me out and helps y'all out, get y'all a bunch of good knowledge. Some of y'all might just be getting into these trucks and don't know much about them, and you want to learn. So I'm gonna try to do the best I can to explain everything to y'all, and yeah, like I said, stay tuned to the next one.